chapter 20. So you've read your book, you've got your workbook. So this time you're going to be examining your past clients. What I want you to do, and if you are new to this position, so examining past clients works really well if you've been a director for a while. If you are brand new to a program or you've never opened a center before, you're going to have a harder time with this activity. But I want you to think about it. If you need to, and your center's been open before, or you've been a director anywhere before, maybe you've just been a customer, maybe you've just been a parent, so you've heard the horror stories. Just think about the questions and answers. I still want you to go through the activity. So what we want you to do in this chapter, the whole goal of chapter 20, is we want you to identify your ideal, the perfect parent for you. And here's why. Because the more perfect parents that you have, the more perfect families that you have at your program, the better your program is going to operate. I know, it's an ideal world. And that's what we want. We want you to not be overwhelmed. So if you've got to beg parents to pay, if you are working with a lot of parents who are not paying full rate because you've given them scholarships, or you're working with them on payment plans, you've taken parents just because you're desperate and they're not really a good fit for your program, then you're stressed because the kids aren't a good match and the parents aren't a good match. So you need to identify who is a good fit. All right. So let's take a look at some of the questions you need to be asking yourself, right? So we are in section 3 and we are taking a look. So first idea, who are the standout customer, right? So who are the standout clients, right? So these are the clients that pay early, pay on time. Ideally, they're even the ones that pay in cash or write a check. Why is that important? Because that means that you're not paying the credit card fees, right? You get all the money. Believe it or not, that 3% or 2.9% or whatever your credit card company is paying you, and whatever the processing, all those fees add up. So a lot of times that's one of those things that we get lost in our budget, which I didn't talk about in our budget, in the budget video. But it is one of those things that a lot of times we forget in a budget. And so sometimes our budgets are just always off. So I want you to think about your most profitable clients. What are the clients that you enjoy being with? What are the clients that show up on time? What are where do those clients work? So the clients whose kids are there when you tell them to be. So if you tell everybody that the kids need to be at your program by 8 o'clock, because that's when stuff starts, not the ones who show up with their kid at 10 o'clock, that kind of throw off the whole day. Think about what time do activities start in your program. So if activities in your program start at 8 o'clock or at 8:30, or breakfast starts, these are the ones that listen to you. They send the right lunches. They have the kids dressed for the weather. They're on time with any extra paperwork that you might need them to fill out. That is what we consider your ideal profile for your ideal client. Okay. You also want to think about what age group. So what age group has the most profitability? And so if you are the most profitable at your toddler classroom, and that is because maybe you have 3 toddler classrooms and you've got great teachers and those toddler classrooms are always full, then that's the age group you want to make sure is always full. If your preschool classroom is the most profitable because it's the largest space and you really can max out your ratios, then you want to make sure it's full. If it's not full, then you need to ask yourself why it's not full. Are you competing with school preschool programs and it's never going to be full? Then maybe you should rearrange rooms. So sometimes, although you might have some ideal clients, is it possible that it's never going to be your ideal client? So you need to look at your community and you need to look at your marketing aspect and when you're doing your marketing research. And that's what we're doing here. So chapter 20 is starting to look at your market research. Okay. So you also want to look at where you have high turnover. So do you have a lot of turnover in a specific classroom? And then maybe try to figure that out. Is that related to staff? Is that related to something else that's happening in the community? What are the things that you love to do? What are the things that you don't love to do? What are the things and services that your program offers that nobody else offers? Okay, make sure that you're filling that aspect out in that section. The more of this that you can identify, the better, because we want to make sure that you are marketing to the right person. If you're spending a bunch of money advertising, first of all, you don't want to be advertising. You are not in an industry where advertising is advantageous. You need to be marketing and using public relations, word of mouth. People need to know who you are because everybody's talking about you. If you're not really sure what I'm talking about, make sure that you listen to the additional podcast episodes that are attached to this unit. Chapters 20 and 21 are all about marketing. We have a lot of podcast episodes that are specifically on marketing. This is something that Carrie and I can talk about all day. So I'm not going to give you 30 different videos on marketing, but I am going to tell you that you need to go listen to those podcast episodes. I am going to tell you that you're missing an awful lot if you are thinking that spending a lot of money in advertising is what you need to do. You need to make sure that you are building relationships within your community, that you are building relationships with your local elementary school. You need to know what sets you aside and different from the other childcare centers in your community, and that it's okay to fill a niche. Don't try to be everything to everybody in your community, and it's okay to be higher priced. It's okay to know you've got a quality program and to charge for it. It's okay. Let them come to you. You've got this. Don't settle. Don't panic. It will be worth it to you in the long run, waiting 1 month to fill those 2 empty spots versus giving those empty spots at half price to somebody because you just want to put a body in there. Because those are the people who you're going to have to drag to get the money out of them every month. If you're having to chase them down for payment, that's not going to help you any. Remember, our goal is to help you go from overwhelmed to I got this. If you're doing just the opposite and you're having to chase everybody down and you're getting stressed because you're not listening to us, that's your choice. I'm trying to tell you how you can help yourself. Listen to us. We've done this 21 years. Total, Carrie and I each have been in the industry for over 30. Don't ever, we've learned this the hard way. Stop giving away your spots to people who don't appreciate what you have. You've got a quality program. Make people want to be at your program. That happens by your staff and your parents telling people about your program. Get people to tell people. Encourage referrals, encourage reviews, get people to talk about you. Which reminds me, when you're done with our course, we'd love to have a review. Okay, I just had to. Anyway, if you haven't given a local review to all of the different companies that you visit regularly, why not? Probably because they didn't ask. When's the last time you gave a Google review or a Facebook review? I'm less concerned about Yelp anymore. So Yelp used to be something that I used to talk about all the time in our course. And again, we all have to know how things are evolving, right? But currently, Facebook and Google reviews are where people look. All right. So make sure that you're supporting your own local businesses, your friends, the businesses that you do support, not just when they're not very good. Make sure that you tell the businesses that you really do like, that you really do like them. Encourage your parents to do the same. You can have some fun, give some incentives, do some giveaways, free t-shirt, but make people want to come see you. But you have to know who you want, and that's who you need to market to. If you're not sure where they are, do the activity in the workbook, and then start to figure out where those people work, where those people live, and that's where you need to communicate with them. I'm going to talk a little bit about social media before I wrap up this video, because social media is constantly changing. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time on one specific platform. We did that before. So in the social media platforms, you have to pay attention to how old is your ideal client. Ask them, what platforms are you on? Ask them what they do there, right? So if all they're doing on TikTok is watching funny pet videos, you spending a lot of time doing cute videos and learning how to do TikTok videos or Instagram reels because somebody told you that's where your market is, and that somebody could have been me. If you're spending a lot of time doing that to fill your last 3 spots, is that really the best place for you to use your time? Because you might really be better off spending your time writing some articles for your local newsletter, community Facebook group, whatever your local utility district might be, to establish professionalism and for the community to remember that you are the expert when it comes to kids. So that when somebody's trying to figure out what to do with their toddler who's biting, or how to potty train their 18-month-old, or it's summer and I'm going to take a road trip and I don't know what to do, they know that you are the expert and that you run ABC Childcare, and that, oh yeah, she knows everything there is to know about kids. Yes, they are the ones who I need to go to. That's what you want to be. You want to be the community expert. Remember that. So figure out what your strategy is going to be for you to be the community expert in your community so that everybody knows that for kids under age 5, anything they need to know, you're the one they need to go to. See you next chapter.